Hey y'all, just checking in. I am sitting on my beautiful porch in the marina. It's kind of hard to see from there, but it's just super gorgeous here and I'm loving it. So I did about a 10-15 minute walk this morning. Lots of colorful sensations. So the main thing today is dizziness. Like a dizzy, boaty, just like that kind of feeling. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. Vertigo-y, maybe a little bit. I don't know if it's quite vertigo. And so that's just making things a little bit challenging to navigate, but I did go for that walk, so I am just allowing any of the, uptick, the adjustment period to come, knowing that my nervous system just needs to get strong again. And so by going out on these little walks and then just accepting the adjustment period, accepting the uncomfortable sensations, and something that I loved hearing yesterday, if you are trying to follow some good mind-body coaches and people who've gotten through like really horrific situations out the other side, Mindful Gardener is another good one. And he did an interview with Dan Buglio, and he says getting discomfortable, like getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, is discomfortable. So I definitely, trying to do that, just get discomfortable, but do it anyway. Which honestly, like I have worked in waves, I've shopped in waves, I've exercised in waves, like throughout my entire journey. My baseline isn't quite there yet in terms of like going out and like living a full life despite symptoms, but I am practicing getting uncomfortable and just doing it anyway. My partner was going to Costco and I'm like, oh, should I go? But unfortunately the dizziness is just a little bit too much today. So, yeah, I'm not gonna push it that hard, but that's what's going on with me. Continuing to listen to tons and tons of success stories. And when I say success stories, I'm not talking about benzo withdrawal anymore. And I just want to make that clear that I've left that camp completely, because I haven't taken a benzo in 6 years. My setback was 4 years ago. I healed from that, and then I got COVID. And basically now what I'm learning is that so many things can mimic benzo withdrawal. Like I never knew that, or I just didn't think anybody could be as bad. But it turns out that any kind of nervous system dysfunction that results from so many different things. I mean, some of these stories, I'm just like, whoa, like it's so similar. Chronic fatigue syndrome is one that I didn't realize people had, like full body burning, lots of other things. So I'm just going, okay, like I've taken it out of the benzo like umbrella and I put it into sensitive nervous system, what is it called? Central sensitization or neuroplastic pain, or there's so many different ways to talk about it. And yeah, that just makes me feel a little bit less, like stuck in a loop of this is the benzos. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it's COVID. I don't know. And honestly, I don't care, because the way forward is the same. The way forward in the healing through all of this is the same, which is one day at a time, do a little, expect the boom and the bust for a while. It's exactly how I got better last time, and be grateful for the more manageable days. My days have been more manageable for the last, couple of weeks now, and I'm so grateful for that. And, who knows if I'll go back into some worse acute waves. My last wave definitely increased my baseline. So I'm just really glad that, and I'll say I've been really catching thoughts. So I don't know about you guys, but sometimes my brain, well, of course, everybody goes through this, but my brain wants to attach a symptom to something that I did to create that symptom. And I feel like this is a way that we can make our lives really, really small. Like people do this like with vitamins, and not to say that vitamins can't rev you up. I do believe they can. I think it's the brain's perception though, more than the actual vitamin. If you take a bunch of B vitamins, you're going to get revved up because that's what they do, because they increase energy. But certain things like vitamin D, things like that, I think our brain isn't conditioned yet to know that it's safe. Or certain foods, like the brain thinks it's unsafe, so it sends out, and on a subconscious level, not even conscious, it sends out all these like uptick symptoms. But what I've been trying to really not do is associate my symptoms with things that I do, because then what that does is it has me not do those things again. And in many ways, that's conditioning my brain to not do those things, and then my life gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So what I'm doing now is, like, yesterday I ate some ground beef for dinner. Later on I got a headache, and immediately I could say, oh, it was the ground beef that did that, I'm going to stop eating beef. But I don't know 100% that it was the beef. And even if it was, by not eating beef again, I've just decreased my world, made my world smaller. And I've taught my brain that actually there is something to fear. Beef is something to fear. But it's not. I've eaten it before. I even ate it last week. So I'm really trying to say I don't care what's causing the upticks. I'm not going to label it as food. I'm not going to label it as sitting out in the sun too long. I'm not going to give it a reason why things are happening, but rather say, this is just my dysregulated nervous system, and it's going to be firing off all kinds of different danger signals, but I don't have to buy it, I don't have to believe it, and I don't have to stop my life as a result of it. Does that mean I'm going to go balls to the wall with my life right now? No, because there's only so much excitatory neurotransmitters that I can handle at one time without really not being well mentally, and also it's hard on my partner. So I'm not trying to like go out and go, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go bungee jumping right now, but I'm being mindful. But I'm also not saying I have to restrict my life. In fact, I want to start increasing the things that I can do versus decreasing the things that I can do. I hope that makes sense. And that's really how I got to where I was before all of this. Exercise was a big one. Once my baseline was high enough and I stopped having boom and bust, and I was able to gain more traction with exercise was so healing for me. The more I did it, the better I felt. And I just felt like my brain was just really, really getting better and better every day. But I had to wait until I wasn't having these huge like ups and downs, which is why I've started to go a little bit more into my walks, because I haven't seen like a huge acute wave happen, whereas when I first was, got COVID and in the post, I was like taking a walk, and then 2 hours later I was going into an acute wave. So anyway, those are my thoughts and my ramblings for today. I wonder how y'all are doing. Are you down with this mind-body concept, TMS, PDP, perceived danger pain, neuroplastic pain? Like, what are y'all thinking about that? During a taper, definitely the drugs are playing a role. Absolutely. But I think there still is something to be said for this mind, body, and perceived danger. I mean, I'll give you some great examples. I remember one time I was in my taper, I was in a wave, and I watched the movie Yes Man. I laughed so hard, I laughed myself into a window. That's mind, body. That's not because of a drug. If we can somehow change our state based on stress, like you have stress and you get worse, you laugh and you get better, that's the connection between the brain and the body. the brain is always searching for messages of safety or messages of danger, and based on those, it will produce more or less symptoms. So I think that even in a taper, yes, there's all kinds of stuff going on with the drug, and there is going to be some kind of mind-body work that can be done at the same time. Which is why I've always loved Bayless's community, because she's so great at doing all that. She's the best. So if you're not in her community and you're really suffering, I would get into it. I don't think that she teaches as much as she used to. Some of the stuff that really helped me, because she had a lot more content, but she's still got a lot out there, and it's still really, really useful. Yeah, so I feel like I could just talk on and on today, which is probably a good sign. Sitting here on my porch, and I don't really have a whole lot else going on right now. I'm hoping that I can get back to work. My real like, I'm thinking by December, January, it's October, it's almost October now, that I'll be ready. But I want to be mindful that I'm not taking people on and then having to say, oh, my bad, actually I can't, like, I have to I gave a lot of refunds to my clients. I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to give myself this time to really, really get better before I launch back into my full-on career. My career is really a beautiful thing, and I love it, and it takes a lot of energy. So I'll leave it here for now. Lots of love, everybody.